silence, all stand and remain standing until the conclusion of the reading of the proclamation. Ladies and gentlemen, the proclamation. All persons having any business before this honorable court, please draw nigh, give your attendance, and you shall be heard.
Admission of lawyers. Brittany Mary Bartolo.
May it please the court, I move Brittany Bartolo be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Brittany Mary Bartolo be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Isabella Grace Burkett Yonker.
May it please the court, I move that Isabella Grace Burkett Yonker be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Isabella Grace Burkett Yonker be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Simon Blake Brannigan.
May it please the court, I move that Simon Blake Brannigan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Simon Blake Brannigan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Alexander Joseph Brigden.
May it please the court, I move that Alexander Joseph Brigden be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Alexander Joseph Brigden be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kelly Kai.
May it please the court, I move that Kelly Kai be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Kelly Kai be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Grace Elizabeth Cantwell.
May it please the court, I move that Grace Elizabeth Cantwell be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Grace Elizabeth Cantwell be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Barry Chen.
May it please the court, I move that Barry Chen be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Barry Chen be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Gabriel Mary Clark.
May it please the court, I move that Gabriel Mary Clark be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Gabriel Mary Clark be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Byron Ashley Clugston.
May it please the court, I move that Byron Ashley Clugston be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Byron Ashley Clugston be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sophie Caitlin Court.
May it please the court, I move that Sophie Caitlin Court be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Sophie Caitlin Court be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ella Jean Crowley Burrows.
May it please the court, I move that my daughter Ella Jean Crowley Burrows be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ella Jean Crowley Burrows be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Julia Claire Delamata.
May it please the court, I move that Julia Claire Delamata be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Julia Claire Delamata be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kim Ann Din.
May it please the court, I move that Kim Ann Din be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Kim Ann Din be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Iman Drashkovich.
May it please the court, I move that Iman Drashkovich be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Iman Drashkovich be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Petra Claire Franks.
May it please the court, I move that Petra Claire Franks be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Petra Claire Franks be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Henry Philip Gehring.
May it please the court, I move that Henry Philip Gehring be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Henry Philip Gehring be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Wanyi Gee.
May it please the court, I move that Wanyi Gee be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Wanyi Gee be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Monica Mary Jabrail.
May it please the court, I move that Monica Mary Jebriel be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Monica Mary Jebriel be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Frances Mary Johns.
May it please the court, I move that Frances Mary Johns be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Frances Mary Johns be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Nikki Kalimnios,
May it please the court, I move that Nikki Kalimnios be moved as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Nikki Kalimnios be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sydney Karanpur,
May it please the court, I move that Sydney Caranpur be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Sydney Caranpur be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lauren Claire Carver,
May it please the court, I move that my daughter, Lauren Claire Carver, be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Lauren Claire Carver be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Angelique Therese Keir,
May it please the court, I move that Angelique Therese Keir be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Angelique Therese Keir be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sonia Kalili,
May it please the court, I move that Sonia Kalili be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Sonia Kalili be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Mark Kapelowitz,
May it please the court, I move that Mark Kapelowitz be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Mark Kapelowitz be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Zenon Kosmeda,
May it please the court, I move that Zenon Cosmeda be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Zenon Cosmeda be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Tiffany Hayil Lai,
May it please the court, I move that Tiffany Hayu-Lay be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Tiffany Hayu-Lay be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Rachel Hu Yi Lee,
May it please the court, I move that Rachel Wei Yi Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Rachel Hayu-Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Michael Masterovic,
May it please the court, I move that Michael Masterovic be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Michael Masterovic be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ashley Taylor McDermott,
May it please the court, I move that Ashley Taylor McDermott be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ashley Taylor McDermott be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Stephanie Charlotte Moss,
May it please the court, I move that Stephanie Charlotte Moss be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Stephanie Charlotte Moss be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ki Tan Nguyen,
May it please the court, I move that Keith Nguyen be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ketan Nguyen be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Meredith Kate Oliver,
May it please the court, I move that Meredith Kate Oliver be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Meredith Kate Oliver be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Peggy Pansos,
May it please the court, I move that Peggy Pansos be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Peggy Pansos be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kimberly Faye Rombo,
May it please the court, I move that Kimberly Faye Rambo be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Kimberly Faye Rumbold be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Madeline Saddeth,
May it please the court, I move that Madeline Sadeth be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Madeline Sadeth be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Claire Alexandra Schuster,
May it please the court, I move that Claire Alexandra Schuster be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Claire Alexandra Schuster be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Christina C,
May it please the court, I move that Christina C be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Christina C be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
John C. Yuan Su,
May it please the court, I move that John Ziyuan Su be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let John Siwan Su be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Timothy Harley Sungi Adi,
May it please the court, I move that Timothy Harley Sungi Adi be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Timothy Harley Sungi Yadi be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Wendy Tran,
May it please the court, I move that Wendy Tran be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Wendy Tran be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Thea Butters Waldron.
May it please the court, I move that Thea Butters Waldron be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Thea Butters Waldron be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Thomas Den Warren.
May it please the court, I move that Thomas Den Warren be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Thomas Den Warren be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Wing Men Wong.
May it please the court, I move that Wing Men Wong be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Wing Men Wong be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Shrei Yen.
May it please the court, I move Shuai Yuan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Sha Yuan be admitted as a lawyer of this court. It will now be necessary for those applicants whose admission has just been moved to stand when directed and remain standing for the purpose of swearing an oath or making a declaration and affirmation. So please stand as directed by the officiating officer.
Would the first two rows please stand? Brittany Mary Bartolo, Isabella Grace Burkett Yonker, Simon Blake Brannigan, Alexander Joseph Brigden, Kelly Kai, Grace Elizabeth Cantwell, Barry Chen, Gabriel Mary Clark, Byron Ashley Clugston, Sophie Caitlin Court, Ella Jean Crowley Burrows, Julia Claire Delamata, Kim An Din, Iman Drashkovic, Petra Claire Franks, Henry Philip Gehring. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state according to the best of your knowledge, skill and ability? Would you please say, "So help me God," or "I do"?
I do.
Would you please be seated? Would the third and fourth row please stand? Wanyi Gee, Monica Mary Jabrail, Frances Mary Johns, Nikki Kalimnios, Sydney Karampor, Lauren Claire Carver, Angelique Therese Keir, Sonia Kalili, Mark Kapelowitz, Zenon Kosmeda, Tiffany Hayu Lai, Rachel Hui Yi Lee, Michael Masterovic, Ashley Taylor McDermott, Stephanie Charlotte Moss, Kee Tan Nguyen. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state, according to the best of your knowledge, skill and ability? Would you please say, "So help me God," or "I do"?
So help me God.
Would you please be seated? The two rows to my left, please stand. Meredith Kate Oliver, Peggy Pantsos, Kimberly Faye Rombo, Madeline Sadeth, Claire Alexandra Schuster, Christina C., John C. Yuan Su, Timothy Harley Sungi Adi, Wendy Tran, Thea Butters Waldron, Thomas Den Warren, Wing Men Wong, Shuai Yuan. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state according to the best of your knowledge, skill and ability? Would you please say, "So help me God," or "I do"? Would you please be seated?
Well, may I warmly welcome you all to the Supreme Court of New South Wales. Present with me on the bench today, to my right, is Justice Kelly Rees, a judge of the Equity Division of the Court, and to my left, Justice Kate Williams, who is also a judge of the Equity Division of this court. Together, we constitute the court that has, in the exercise of its jurisdiction, admitted you, the newly admitted lawyers, to practice today. We've done so sitting in a court on the land for which the Gadigal of the Eora Nation have cared and been custodians for thousands of years, and the court pays its sincere respects to elders past and present and extends those respects to all First Nations people. To all of the newly admitted lawyers, welcome to the legal profession. Today is one for celebration, and I'm also pleased to welcome those with you today or watching on the live stream. For many of you, the support of your family and friends will have been invaluable on your journey to today, no doubt. They've also been on the receiving end of your finely polished or emerging skills of argument and persuasion. I encourage you to take time to thank them today. Depending on how good an advocate you are, you might even convince them to shout you lunch after this ceremony. We know, we on the bench certainly know how hard you have all worked to get here. It's a memory that never really leaves you. And for most of you, your journey has involved two or three extraordinarily challenging final years affected by the challenges of the pandemic. You have managed your legal studies with this additional adversity, unprecedented in our times, and that makes your achievements, which we mark by your admission today, all the more impressive. The resilience you will have developed will stand you all well into the future. In being admitted as a lawyer of this court, you join an honourable and ancient profession with the custom of advocates swearing an oath on admission to practice dating back to the 12th century. And this court first admitted lawyers in 1824, and by 1830 the names of practitioners were entered onto the rolls in this state, as you will do immediately after this ceremony. It is an acknowledgement of the weighty responsibility that we observe today's unique formalities, including the fact that your admission has been moved by someone who is already a member of the legal profession, and that you have made a formal oath or affirmation in the presence of your family and peers. They are all, therefore, witnesses to the promises and undertakings you have made today. The law touches every part of our society, and it can and will lead you all in many different directions and career paths. But in whatever direction you head, you must always remember that the oath or affirmation that you have just made is a serious one and deserves solemn regard. Whether you work in private practice, at the bar, in a community legal centre, a Crown Law Office, a government department or agency, or indeed in an entirely different field, you should be known for your honesty, your integrity, and your commitment to and sense of justice, and must strive at all times to uphold these cardinal values. Admission as a member of the legal profession is a privilege. It is not a right. Now, I referred earlier to tradition and formality, and you'll see from some of the portraits around this Banco court, our ceremonial court, that we on the bench are wearing the same robes, in some cases literally, as have been worn by our predecessors. Symbolically, that highlights the continuity of the rule of law in New South Wales, although the judges wearing the robes are now drawn from an increasingly diverse pool. As to continuity of the rule of law, in a world in which there is much global uncertainty and insecurity, the rule of law is more important than ever, and is not simply a phrase of some academic interest or theoretical import. The rule of law is the opposite of the arbitrary abuse of power and the rule of autocratic dictators and populists. We know from our knowledge of current events that there is nothing theoretical about those threats. Notwithstanding the formality and tradition of which I have spoken attaching to this ceremony, not everything in the legal profession remains unchanging. The pandemic meant a rapid shift to increased use of virtual courtroom technology to ensure access to justice continued in the midst of a pandemic. And we are proud of what was able to be achieved in the court system and in the legal profession more generally through the pandemic. But we also salute those other professions, especially medical, nursing, and educational professions, who did so much for our community throughout the pandemic. Returning to the legal profession, the technological impetus brought about by the pandemic has also delivered greater workplace flexibility, which is especially important for lawyers with family or caring responsibilities, and also very significant in remote and regional communities. It has had profound implications for how our legal system interacts with and becomes accessible to many more people. Although the increased use of technology offers a number of advantages, the practice of the law has human nature and human interaction and human beings at its core. An essential part of being a good lawyer is understanding people, how others react to different situations, how they perform under pressure and interact and deal with each other. And as I said at my swearing-in speech as Chief Justice, whilst the remote practice of the law may be possible, it is, at least in my opinion, far from desirable. There are, of course, other significant changes in the law that deserve attention in addition to those brought about by the pandemic. When we think about diversity in the legal profession, we encounter a duality that we have made very significant advances, but on the other hand, there is still much that needs to be and can be done. For example, although women were originally not even permitted to practice law in New South Wales, including into the last century, since 2018, women have made up more than half of all solicitors with a practicing certificate in New South Wales, and 2/3 of solicitors under the age of 30 are female. And some of the most senior positions in the law in Australia, including current Chief Justices of the High Court of Victoria, Queensland and the ACT, as well as the President of our own Court of Appeal, Justice Ward, are very distinguished female lawyers, as is the State Director of Public Prosecutions and the Senior Public Defender in New South Wales. There should also be strong representation of lawyers from the many different backgrounds which comprise our cosmopolitan community. Diverse representation amongst solicitors, advocates and judges assists in ensuring that all people who become involved in our justice system can and feel that they can be properly heard and fairly engaged with by a system reflective of and understanding of our broader community. The admissions ceremonies on which I have sat since becoming a judge almost 4 years ago, including this ceremony, highlight that there is far greater diversity of background amongst junior lawyers than when I commenced to practice. That is a very good thing, and the leaders of the profession and the courts are working hard to foster inclusiveness and diversity. That in turn, as I say, builds trust in and respect for both the judiciary and the legal profession. You, the newly admitted lawyers, join the profession at a time when more than ever your words and actions are having an impact for good. And shortly, I will invite 2 young lawyers who were in your shoes not so very long ago to say a few words of welcome. The legal profession is, and I hope you will find, one that is rich with opportunities for you to take advantage of. But first, let me offer a little bit more advice. As a lawyer, you will often need to make difficult ethical decisions. You must use the tools you've developed to think critically and not compromise on your fundamental duties to the court and to the administration of justice. One mistake I would urge you not to fall into the trap of making is giving your clients the advice you think that they want to hear. I can assure you that will invariably not be good advice. Justice Gageler, before he became a High Court judge, once said, you must be prepared to give the same answer to the same question for the same reasons, no matter who asks the question or for what purpose or in what context the asking may occur. That was, as one might expect from His Honour, very good advice indeed. Being a lawyer means that you are an advisor, a problem solver, a mediator, and an advocate. As you go about your day-to-day work, remember that you're not merely dealing with the law in a vacuum, but the law as it applies to people's lives. An individual in need of your services as a lawyer will frequently be an individual facing some kind of great personal challenge or crisis affecting his or her liberty, property, personal well-being, or health or financial position and security. For these reasons, you must always strive to deliver legal services sensitively, competently and fearlessly, yes, but always with courtesy and integrity, including with courtesy and integrity to your opponents or your counterparties to legal disputes. In this context, I wish to emphasise the importance of what some regard as an old-fashioned notion of civility. Aspects of the law, especially if you're involved in the litigation side of practice, are confrontational of their very nature. But the practice of the law can be stressful and demanding enough without personal animus and antagonism between practitioners adding to the load, as it sometimes does. So I'd urge you to remember that it is essential that you maintain your detachment, or seek to maintain your detachment, balance, and good humour, remembering at all times that you are members of a profession and not a business. And remember this, that the best advocates can and do make their points simply and succinctly. Often, less is more. Some of the most experienced lawyers and judges, including myself, could do with that reminder from time to time. For a non-lawyer, law is often incomprehensible, and one of your roles as a skilled lawyer will be to make the law accessible to others, sometimes by deciphering legal complexities, other times by deciphering poor legal drafting, or otherwise unpacking complex facts into a clear legal structure and analysis. Strive to be clear and concise at all times in both your writing and your speaking. At various points of your career, you will make mistakes, some minor, some more serious. We all make mistakes from time to time, especially when we're starting something new. What is important is you try not to make the same mistake twice, and if you do make mistakes, that your commitment to honesty, integrity, and the administration of justice means that you take responsibility, correct what you can, and learn from those errors. It's also important to emphasise that in the practice of the law, your physical and mental health are both extremely important. There may, and I dare say will be, times when you feel overwhelmed, burnt out, or distressed. Legal practice can be all-consuming and physically and mentally taxing. Now, that's often because it's in many lawyers' nature to go the extra mile, to strive to find the answer, to be absolutely on top of all the facts and all the law, etc. And that is an honourable and admirable facet of the profession, but it is and can be taxing and demanding. So you must work hard to keep your balance and keep your eye up to ensure that your colleagues do so as well. In that context, you should remember that the law is a highly collegiate profession. And with that in mind, let me now call upon two young representatives of the New South Wales Bar Association and the Law Society to say a few words of welcome. Ms. Trahanis, do you move?
On behalf of May it please the Court, my name is Christina Trahanis and I have been practising for 4 years at the Bar, predominantly in commercial law and in public law. On behalf of the New South Wales Bar Association, I welcome you to the legal profession. The legal profession is an old profession based on precedent and the rule of law, while also being a profession that grows and develops to adapt to new practices and technology, and most importantly, to society's values as they change over time. For several decades now, the composition of lawyers and barristers in New South Wales has changed to better reflect the community. The Bar today is a welcoming place for people of all genders and backgrounds, and you are welcome, either straight away or after some time as a solicitor, to apply to come to the bar. It is an honour to be a lawyer, and in my case, a barrister, and I am very proud to be a member of the legal profession. I enjoy the intellectual challenge of my job, and it allows me to give expert advice to and represent people in court and to contribute to society in a meaningful way. If you are interested in coming to the bar, you can contact the New South Wales Bar Association or have a look at its website on the steps to take. And each year there is a Career at the Bar open day. To become a barrister, you must pass the bar exams and satisfactorily complete the bar practice course and reading requirements in your first year at the bar. In terms of the support available, in your first year of practice as a reader, you have 2 tutors who are barristers of at least 7 years seniority, who meet with you weekly, review your work, and teach you practical skills, whether by appearing with them in court or otherwise. The bar is also renowned for its collegiality, especially in chambers, so you are not isolated or alone. The New South Wales Bar Association is the professional body that supports barristers, and it has several committees, including, for example, a new barristers committee, which organises social and educational functions for 0 to 5 years barristers like me, a wellbeing committee, which runs seminars on health and wellbeing, promoting balance between work and the other parts of your life, and a diversity and equality committee that promotes one of the key strategic goals of the New South Wales Bar Association: to attract the best people to become barristers, regardless of their race, religion, gender, parental status, or sexual preference. Whether as a lawyer or as a barrister, I encourage you to get involved in the Law Society or the Bar Association and to use your skills to assist your community. It is a rewarding experience to practice in connection with others in your profession. Once again, on behalf of the New South Wales Bar Association, I welcome you to the legal profession, and I congratulate you on your admission today as a lawyer of this Honourable Court. May it please the Court.
Thank you, Mr. Trahanis. Ms. Pye, on behalf of the Law Society, do you move?
May it please the Court. My name is Rashika Pye, and it feels like just yesterday I was sitting where you are, and what a day it is, in this very court, and what a day it is. You are here being admitted to the Supreme Court role as the final step at the end of a long and arduous journey. You should all feel immensely proud of what you have achieved thus far. When I embarked on my career as a solicitor, I had no real idea of what to expect. It was not always easy, and often it was overwhelming. But as I stand here today, after 8 years of working as a solicitor in family law private practice and now in the community legal sector, I can tell you I have learned a thing or two. One of the most important things I've learned is the importance of belonging to a profession. The legal profession is an increasingly large and diverse community, and one to which you now belong. The Law Society of New South Wales is the home of that community, with our 30,000 members flung far and wide across the state. We are bound by our shared duties, our commitment to continuous learning, our desire to connect, and our drive to give back to our communities and uphold the rule of law. As an early career lawyer, belonging to a strong network of peers is crucial. That is why I've been a part of the Law Society's New South Wales Young Lawyers branch for almost 4 years, which is half of my legal career. Here, I have found friendship, inspiration, guidance, and support when I needed it, as well as opportunities to advocate and join committees. By joining the Law Society and New South Wales Young Lawyers, you will gain access to professional support, conferences and events, a wide range of publications, professional development opportunities, mentoring, volunteer opportunities, and much more. It is the role of the Law Society to ensure that you, as a newly minted solicitor, can thrive and succeed in your new profession. So again, congratulations to you all. Look us up or speak to your employer, and we look forward to welcoming you into the Law Society community. May it please the court.
Thank you, Ms. Pye. Well, can I say this to you all in closing? The law is a wonderful profession. It's stimulating, it's challenging, it's satisfying, and it's populated by intelligent, committed, and dynamic people such as yourselves. You should be very proud to be a lawyer and of your achievements to date, and you should remain proud to be a lawyer. It is a very important profession, and you are now a very important part of it. So hold your heads high and the very best of luck for the exciting journey that lies ahead. On behalf of Justice Rees, Justice Williams, and indeed all of our colleagues on the Supreme Court, I once again congratulate you on your admission and welcome you to the legal profession. The court will now adjourn.
All stand. This honourable court is now adjourned.